We're back with Colby again. We're going to be talking about Barrie and Orillia today.
We've got some good things going on in the Barrie area. So as you can see, the prices keep increasing. And the last two bars that you see here in January, February, we're actually starting to see inventory starting to creep back up. So Orillia is 20 minutes away, and we are about $150,000 cheaper in Orillia, and the rents are almost the same. We've got our finger on the pulse from zoning bylaws and everything. We're always keeping up on the new legislation coming out. We want to be the first at the forefront of all these new items coming out, especially in Barrie area right now. Like I said before, we are redoing this official plan. We are redoing the zoning bylaw. Once that comes out, it's going to change the landscape of Barrie, and it's going to be a gold rush.
What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here, and in today's video we're catching up with Colby, our local expert for the Simcoe County, Orillia, and Barrie area. So you guys loved last month's video where Colby really broke down for us exactly what he's doing with these garden suites in Barrie. But this month, he's actually going to be breaking down for us how you can do it in Orillia, because if you haven't been paying attention, Orillia just passed very similar bylaw rules to what Barrie already had in regards to those garden suites. So in today's video, Colby's going to break down for us exactly what you can expect and what you can potentially profit if you decide to implement his garden suite strategy in Orillia. Let's jump into it.
All right, guys, we're back with Colby again. We're going to be talking about Barrie and Orillia today, and I'm really excited because you guys clearly loved the Barrie video. It was one of our most watched videos in the last month, so really happy to see that you guys are interested and excited in what's going on in the Barrie market. Hey, Colby, how's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me on again. Yeah, we had a great response. Phone was ringing off the hook. Everyone wanted to learn about garden suites in the Barrie area, and we got a lot more information about Orillia coming up as well, and touching more on the garden suites in that area.
Awesome. So I'll jump right into the data here with you because I'm excited to get into it, and then looking forward to just chatting about what's changed in your market in the last month.
So we got some Barrie stats that we're going to go over. We got some good things going on in the Barrie area. So first chart I wanted to go over with you guys is detached home sales in Barrie for the last 12 months. The blue line you see there is the original average price, and the green bars are active number of listings. So as you can see, the prices keep increasing, and the last two bars that you see here in January, February, we're actually starting to see inventory starting to creep back up. So if you look at the green bars back in March 2020, we had quite a bit of inventory there, and then the pandemic hit, everything started to slump, and you can see the blue line, prices started to go up and up. Basically, December, you can see the lowest inventory. We got shut down, the stay-at-home order hit, so inventory was an all-time low, and prices were quite high. Now, over January, February, we're seeing increased inventory. We haven't seen this at all since June of last year. So this is an exciting thing to see, definitely in the Barrie area. Prices are still climbing. We're still having a lot of competing offers, but usually the real estate market takes 60 to 90 days to kind of realize when it's going to take a change in direction. So the fact that we are seeing increasing inventory is good for investors, because hopefully we'll see a little bit of a decrease in price. I don't see the prices falling through the floor, but a correction, a little bit of a cooling would be great for investors to get in the market area. So this next chart here is list versus sale price for detached homes. So the green bars are the the list price, and the blue bars are what it actually sold for. So you can see again back March 2020, you were getting properties under market what they were listed for, and then as things continue on, in the pandemic hit, you can see the blue bars start to creep up, and prices were going for higher than what the list price was. And then you can see again when the stay-at-home order hit back in December 2020, the blue bar definitely superseded the green bar, and we're seeing the most multiple offers we've seen. But going back to the other chart, we do have that increasing inventory. So hopefully that blue bar will start to come down, trend downwards next couple months. Kind of seeing almost like an early spring market is kind of what we're seeing with this increase in inventory. So we're definitely keeping an eye on it. Hopefully see a bit of a cooling, but again, it could be an early spring market, and this just could be the influx of inventory for the spring market that be coming early. So this is an interesting chart. This is the duplexes that have sold. So the last two charts were based on homes sold in Barrie that are in the detached built form. This one here is just primarily multifamily duplexes. So the blue line here is the average price. Again, you can see December, when we got the stay-at-home order, everything just skyrocketed up. So that's an interesting chart to see, and it's the last 12 months. So again, back in March when the pandemic hit, you seen a quick dip in prices. No one knew what was going on. It was anarchy in the marketplace. It kind of had a stable period there for a while when we had some direction of what was going on. And then again, we got hit with that stay-at-home order in our area. No inventory was coming on the market. We were seeing like 1 listing a day. At least now we're getting up 15, 30, 40 listings a day, which is good, helping with the huge demand that's in this area. So definitely an interesting chart there. A couple little tidbits of what's going on in the Barrie market. Next thing I wanted to talk about is Orillia. I know we had lots of great information on Barrie, but we do service all of Simcoe County. So I want to touch on what's going on in Orillia. Firstly, I want to let people know where Orillia are. And a lot of the phone calls we were getting are from people from Hamilton, GTA, and Barrie's a relatively new market for them. So Orillia is 35 kilometers down Highway 11. It also is a waterfront community. There's lots of different industries, and it's about 35 kilometers away. So depending on how fast you drive, it's about a 20-minute drive from the Barrie area, straight shot down Highway 11. Orillia does have some good industries. Soldiers Memorial Hospital is there, great for nurses and other healthcare workers, so a good tenant pool from those types of people. Orillia also has the OPP headquarters for Ontario as well. So there's lots of, good paying jobs in the area, good rental pool. In the Orillia area for your rental properties, you definitely want to put in a couple bells and whistles to attract the higher upper crust that are working in these more stable industries. But there are a lot of good things going on in the Orillia area. So a couple charts here that we have for Orillia. Same ones that kind of mirror Barrie. So Orillia is 20 minutes away, and we are about $150,000 cheaper in Orillia, and the rents are almost the same. So that's definitely a great area. There's still a great rental pool. When Barrie becomes affordable, people usually tend to go to Orillia. So it's the next spot north before you start hitting in the Gravenhurst and more cottage country kind of areas. So we're always keeping an eye on what's going on there. So let's go over the chart here. So you can see number of listings severely declined ever since the pandemic hit. And again, once the stay-at-home order was there, that was the low of the low. Now we're seeing the increase in inventory. We're seeing it there as well, but we're still in the competition area. So, there's a lot of that going on at this particular point. But what I like about this chart here is once the inventory started to grow in January, you can see the curve starting to come down here where we didn't see that on the Barrie one. So if inventory is growing, it's usually impacted. It really gets a lot more impacted than Barrie would. Barrie is definitely more stable, but there's still definitely a great rental pool in Orillia. So we're definitely keeping an eye on it. And we've got some really good information coming up about what's going on in the Orillia area in regards to the garden suites coming up pretty quickly here. So this chart here, again, same as one for Barrie, is the list versus sale price for detached homes. So again, you can see at the beginning of the pandemic, you're getting stuff probably 5% under list. As the pandemic hit, everything started going crazy. February right now, they're having a crazy time. Things going way over value, which is nuts. But that's pretty well standard all across GTA, Toronto, everywhere is what my understanding is. Most of Ontario is experiencing these crazy markets. So we are seeing the increase in inventory both in Barrie and Orillia and pretty much all across Simcoe County. So I'm curious to know if this is going to be an early spring market and it's just going to be the standard for the time, or if we're going to see an influx of inventory and possibly a cooling of prices. I think if the government comes out and whispers anything about raising interest rates, that it would put quite a shockwave through the marketplace at this particular point. I'm sure, Matt, you're keeping a good eye on that kind of stuff as well, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely the government, without getting too deep into an entire interest rate conversation, I think the governments obviously want to sound like hawks, but I think that they're hawks in doves clothing, in my opinion. So I think they want to sound like they can be strong and that they can push on the interest rate. And they might have 1 or 2 little pushes in their chamber. But I think, as Colby's saying, regardless of whether they can really push interest rates a lot higher or not, what's the market going to do if they even talk that way, right? Because often the rumor is enough for people to buy or sell the rumor. So definitely paying attention to just those meeting notes and the tonality that's coming out from there is important.
And definitely the elephant in the room too is always inflation. You see cost of everything going up, people jumping into things like Bitcoin as well too, but no one's saying anything about inflation at this particular point. If you're building or renovating right now, the cost of everything has been going up. Seems like 10% per month is hard to keep track of everything. So inflationary, the way they fight inflation is by raising interest rates. So if we get enough vaccines in people's arms, that could be a real scary thing if they start to put interest rates up due to inflation, because it is happening. They're just not talking about it.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely a lot of inflation going on, especially in consumer goods and construction goods and things of that nature. And it'll be interesting to see if and when the government decides to try and put a halt to it.
Yeah, because even going up like 2 basis points or half a point, that's almost a 50% increase in some people's mortgage rates right now as well. If some people have a 1% or 1.5%, if they put it up half a point, that's adding 50% increase to some people's mortgage payments, and that could put a real tailspin in things as well, right?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the scariest things I see is like there are so many investors these days when they're coming on one of my shows and they're pitching us, and they're coming in at 1.75% interest rate. I had one pitching us a 2% interest rate deal on a 30-year amortization. And it's just like, man, do you really think you're going to be able to carry that 2% for 30 years? Like, I got a feeling that 3 or 5 years from now, when you come up for renewal or when interest rates get adjusted, if you're on a variable, you're going to get hit pretty fast on that. So it is important that we're looking at the big picture. And like, that's what I really love about you, Colby. It's very clear that you're thinking long-term big picture, right? Even with some of the, like the suites that you're doing and stuff, the garden suites, like thinking about like the long term, right? Like planning with that basement and stuff. Like that's the sort of investment philosophy I really enjoy versus like the greater fool theory, which we see a lot of individuals focusing on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got our finger on the pulse from zoning bylaws and everything. We're always keeping up on the new legislation coming out. We want to be the first at the forefront of all these new items coming out, especially in Barrie area right now. Like I said before, we are redoing this official plan. We are redoing the zoning bylaw. Once that comes out, it's going to change the landscape of Barrie, and it's going to be a gold rush. There's going to be so many opportunities with the new zonings, new densities, new heights. We're really excited for it, and that's coming up in the next year, 18 months. There's going to be drafts coming out hopefully soon, and I'm kind of geeking out, getting excited for that, just to see even a draft of it, to see what the city of Barrie's thinking. And that's almost all municipalities within Simcoe County right now. They're all in the process of reviewing their official plan and zoning bylaw, and I'm pretty sure that's all across the board in most of Ontario at this particular point. This is something that only happens every 20 to 30 years, so really excited to see that happen, and it's going to bring great things to this area for sure. Yeah, so again, Orillia, duplexes in the last 12 months. Just wanted to touch on a couple points here. We had a huge inventory back May, April, and prices have been going up steadily. We're seeing items close to 600, usually between 5 and 6 is kind of what you're buying duplexes for at this particular point. Depending on the condition and where it is in Orillia. There are some tougher areas in Orillia where properties are going for cheaper. And again, you can see here the amount of active listings as per February is starting to grow. We've kind of bottomed out at the minimal inventory that we've ever had in these areas. So I wanted to break the big news. Orillia is open for business. They are allowing garden suites now. So this came out last Monday. They passed the legislation. We've got the program. We know what they want, what you're looking for the garden suites. So I want to go over basically some of the criteria and the areas where you can do it. So this is some of the criteria in a nutshell for garden suites in Orillia. You're allowed to do it up to a maximum size of 800 square feet. This is interesting compared to the city of Barrie. The city of Barrie wanted to do 10% of lot size. There is no maximum. The city of Orillia is a maximum of 800 square feet, which is a different approach. They have a maximum height of 5 meters. So this is from average grade to mid-peak of your building. The city of Orillia will allow for 2-story garden suites, which is great. So you could have a basement, main level, and a 2nd story with these height restrictions. So we're interested to see what we can do design-wise for that. So we could have 3 floors essentially. The minimum lot area that the city of Orillia will allow for a garden suite is just under 5,000 square feet. We've been telling all our clients in the Barrie area to target 5,000 square feet and more. So it's good that they put this minimum in. It's a lot more difficult to build a little bachelor or something with all the requirements for your heating systems and stuff like that in there. Minimum lot frontage, 15 meters or about 50 feet. I think that's a great idea. Just for parking, you know, when you want parking is such a premium right now, especially in Barrie, Orilla, there you have to have 4 parking spots, which is different where Barrie only needs 3. But we're trying to get as much parking in as we can.
Yeah.
We'd like to see 6 to 8 spots for our detached suites that we're building for clients. So the fact that Orillia has a forethought there of going for the 4 spots to start, I think definitely adding some value, but a lot more criteria to qualify for a garden suite in Orillia versus Barrie. And we'll go over some numbers here of what duplexes and triplexes are going for so you guys can kind of gauge the opportunity. A little bit of risk of jumping in at this particular point is we don't know where the after repair values are going to end up in Orillia. So I'm going to go over a couple duplexes versus triplexes, but we'll have to wait to see first couple people that flip the garden suites in Orillia to kind of gauge what the ARV will finally be at the back end. But we'll get into some numbers here.
Awesome.
So these are some legal duplexes that have sold within the last 180 days. So the one on the left sold for just under $500,000 on a huge lot, 70 foot by 264. You could put a gorgeous garden suite back there, lots of parking.
Yeah.
The one to the right there, $500,000. These are legal duplexes, so you don't have to legalize them already. So that helps your cash on cash return. You're not doing a double legalization. Lot size on this is 60 foot of frontage by 147 feet of depth. Again, you know, this would support close to an 800 square foot footprint back there. So you're adding a lot of value there. They're allowing 3 floors. So we're really excited to get in the design process in some of these homes in the Orillia area. So going back and touching on, you know, what would the ARV be for a duplex with the garden suite in the back? Again, they haven't been built in Barrie. Some of our larger investment groups that we represent in the Barrie area actually sold some of their first garden suites that they did, so we could get comps on the board so the bankers knew what these properties were worth. So we're working with those groups again still to try and hopefully with their larger portfolios and flip out some of these to get the comps out on the boards and get a gauge on the ARVs for the Orillia area. Right now, your triplexes are going from low 7s to high 7s, depending on area, condition, rentability, and the current rents. Obviously, if they're low rents, it'll go for less. But there's a good little spread there. And, you know, you can still pull out most of your construction budget, some of your down payment in some of these deals as well. So, you know, the BRRRR strategy would still work. But those are kind of the breakdowns between the legal duplexes, legal triplexes. And again, just wanted to touch on, we have a whole building system for garden suites. Having a garden suite built in Barrie and Orillia can be as easy as saying 5 words. Yes, Colby, I want that. We provide end-to-end project management for any type of multifamily conversions in the Simcoe County area. So we'll find opportunities for you. We have our design team that'll design duplexes, triplexes, sixplexes, anything that you need for your real estate needs. We acquire all the permits. We've got crews of contractors working for us. We apply for eco credits, HST rebates, and other rebates and credits you probably didn't even hear of. We've got commercial deals with the brick, TA appliances for your rental units. We've got a property management arm, so we're basically a one-stop shop. We also have our paralegal if tenants get out of hand. So if you're looking to come into this area, you need boots on the ground, we're the ones for you. And again, we service all of Simcoe County. Our project management software that we use, this is really crucial. It's an app that goes right on your phone if you hire us for a job. Basically, it'll go to your phone and everything is updated in real time. So you got your quotes, your pictures, your inspections, everything goes right on your phone. And what's really great about this project management app is for the people that are getting into the joint venture deals, we can actually brand this app to you. So you can put this app on your joint venture partner's phone. We'll brand it to your company being the joint venture leader, hire us to do all the work, and we'll send all the updates to both of you directly, branded to you, and we're doing everything, and you look like a rock star. Love this program. It's keeping everybody organized on time and everything in one spot. So even, you know, a couple of years from now, you can log back in. Everything's there, floor plans, quotes, everything. So definitely a great tool that we like to use. And it's really ramping up on the JV side that people love that they can just, have their own logo, and we're doing all the work and they're making all the money. And yeah, it's great. So another thing I always want to touch on too is questions to ask before hiring a builder. The detached suites are new homes. They are supposed to be registered with Tarion. So one of the questions you want to ask is, are you a Tarion registered builder? Our homes all come with a 7-year warranty because we are registered with Tarion, and that's the proper way of doing it. There is loopholes and ways around it, but if you're doing it properly, you should be registered with Tarion. Next question you should be asking is, are you fully insured? There's builder's risk, WSIB, a couple other different forms of insurance that we have. Just our insurance cost per year is almost $20,000. The house burns down or burns down your neighbor's house, we are fully insured, and then some, just protect ourselves because we are building on other people's properties for these garden suites. So we went over and above to be fully insured. We've got Tarion registered. We are a registered builder in Ontario, and we're taking this on in a big way.
Yeah, I love it.
That's about it for today.
Awesome, Colby. Well, really appreciate it. And before we wrap up for today, I'd love just to hear, we were chatting kind of before the call, but it sounds like there was a decent number of people that were interested in the Barrie, Orillia, Simcoe County market. Do you mind maybe just chatting, what were some of the common questions that people were calling you with, or a few items maybe worth discussing?
Yeah, for sure. Some of the items were basically, what size of lot can I build my garden suite on? Is it any zoning in Barrie? So going back to touching on that, minimum lot size that we recommend for the Barrie area is 5,000 square feet. That'll give you a 500 square foot detached suite. We throw a full basement in there as well for you. So you'll have probably about 850 usable square feet in the smallest footprint. We do have a staircase, full furnace, air conditioning, everything that works. Everything that you have in a regular house, we're putting in these small detached suites. We've had quite a few people come out, check out some of the detached suites that we have built. We have one that we're going for occupancy on Friday. So it's a great tour for people to come out and they see it and they're just blown away. We actually have 9-foot ceilings in the basement on that one. We went a little bit upscale on that, which is cool. But those are the two big questions. And then everyone's asking about Orillia, different price points. Obviously the ARVs are another question too. We're still trying to gauge them. There's a lot more upside still to go in these detached suites, but not a lot of people are selling them. They're building them, they're keeping them because they're making so much money. So they're not actually putting them on the market. So the ARVs are still a little low, but they're going to be going up as soon as people start to flip these out. So we're excited to see more of that happening with the spring coming. People are going to start building again. We're ramping up. We got 8 ready to rock for May 1st. So we're hitting this in a big way, and it's going to be pretty exciting to see what happens. It really is opening up, so we're going to have to be going up there now too, and it's a whole new ball of wax up there.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited. I got a feeling that's going to catch fire in Orillia as well, right? These garden suites with the duplex conversion, it's just a great way to really maximize the potential of any property, any lot, right? So as always, guys, if you want to get in contact with Colby, we've got his contact information in the video description down below. I know a lot of you reached out last month, but if you didn't get a chance to reach out, definitely reach out. And just for context there, I'm kind of new to the idea of Orillia as well. So for anyone that wasn't sure, it's about 30,000 in population. So again, we are dealing with a decent sized Canadian city, right? When we're looking at it, and obvious, very close commuter distance to Barrie as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to see what you do in Orillia, Colby. So make sure once you do your first project there, take some photos or some videos for us, and we'll make sure we can share them on a future video. And otherwise, guys, a reminder, this is a monthly segment. So Colby will be back next month talking about the Barrie real estate market. We'll dive deeper into it, Orillia, and everything Simcoe County. And let us know what your questions are. If you've got any questions, jump on the comments in this video, ask away, and myself and Colby will do our best to respond to you guys, and really appreciate you taking the time just to break down this market again for us, Colby.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's always been a pleasure.
Awesome.
Thanks again to Colby for taking the time to shoot this video. If you guys got value from this video, make sure you smash that like button. If you want to get in contact with Colby, and just a reminder, guys, he was actually overwhelmed with those of you that reached out to him last time. So if you're serious about this, it's better to reach out earlier, get on his list sooner than later, just because Don't call him and expect to be able to buy a property the next day and start your garden suite project literally the next day. It turns out a lot of you are interested in this. I think Orillia is going to represent a really interesting opportunity in addition to what he's already doing in Barrie. So as always, link in the video description down below. You guys can jump over and contact Colby, find out and learn more about exactly what he's doing in the entire Simcoe County region. It's really cool. I know a bunch of YouTube fans already went and did tours with Colby previously to check out some of his projects. So make sure you get on that list, get in contact, and we'll see you in the next video.